Morning, Alex. Good morning, sir. I've got the report on the goods stock from the Sodor Mainland Railway. Ah, excellent. What's the verdict? Well, we've concluded that everything built past 1880 will be perfectly serviceable for the new operations. Anything before that we'd be better off without. Very well. How much will that affect the overall quantity? Minimal at worst. We'll still be able to meet the requirements of the expected goods quantity. Perfect. Well, that'll be the goods section sorted. What about the passenger stock? We are yet to look into them in more detail. We wanted to get the goods stock sorted first, given that you want to start operations before passenger services. Understandable. Well, in that case, I suppose we'd better get to work on examining the coaching stock we have on hand. Will do, sir. Here's hoping for a result like the one for the goods. In quantity alone, we have enough coaches. We'll just have to wait and see if they match our safety standards. Indeed we do. Morning, Clive. Morning, sir. What brings you out today? Well, it's to do with something related to the Sodor Mainland Railway. More specifically, the coaching stock we inherited from it. What about it? Well, in these slightly desperate times, we're hoping that we can just continue to use those until we can get some new ones more easily. I already have people looking at them to see if they meet our safety standards, but I wanted to hear from someone who has already worked with them in the past. Do you think we should continue to operate passenger services with them? No. Okay. That wasn't promising. Can you elaborate? Oh boy, where to start? Well, first of all, the newest coaches we have left are from the 1880s, so they already lack modern seating comforts and such. Already a bad start. Second, they received nowhere near the appropriate amount of maintenance that they should have received. So, last I heard, they were in pretty rough condition, especially when considering the frames, which is the most integral part of the whole coach. But didn't you get some replacements? Well, we didn't outright buy some replacements. By that time, our economy was so bad that we had to lease some from the mainland. And that lease ran immediately after we closed for operations. Right. What about the ride quality when they were in good condition? Well, if used right, then they were said to be okay. What do you mean, if used right? To put it short, they weren't really meant for express services. When they were first built, they were so to replace the commuter coaches we were using by then. However, as ambitions changed, money was allocated elsewhere, so there was none left for some new or proper express coaches. And as a cost-saving measure, the new coaches, which mind you was built to the specifications of a commuter coach, ended up being used for express services moving forward. They were said to be quite rough riding at those speeds. So basically, the coaches that are labeled as express coaches are not really express coaches. Pretty much. Well, I think we can call that investigation complete then. I suppose we'll have to source some coaches from elsewhere. That would probably be smart, sir. However, if I may ask, where do you plan on getting them from? Considering that the war has made it basically impossible to acquire anything from anyone, you'll likely have a hard time getting anything proper. I have considered it. It's definitely a heavy roadblock. However, speaking of that, I would like to ask you something. Go ahead, sir. All the coaches that the Sodor Mainland Railway used, were they all built at Crovan's Gate? Well, the very first ones we got were from the mainland, but otherwise all were built at Crovan's Gate. Very interesting. Are you suggesting that... Yes, Clive. Yes, I am. Building coaches from scratch? That's the idea, Simon. What do you make of it? Well, that's a very ambitious undertaking, sir. It's been a few years since the works has been capable of doing that. Well, didn't you once build locomotives? We did, but we then experienced some budget cuts, so it's been a bit since we've actually undertaken any work like that. Do you think you can still do it? I don't know. It sounds risky and, well, like I said, ambitious. Would you at least want to give it a shot? I suppose we can do that. I guess it's worth the attempt. Excellent. By any chance, is Kyle at work today? He is, yes. What about him? Well, I heard that he's the most experienced engineer amongst your team. I wanted to pass the design challenge to him. Fair enough, I can get behind that. I'll go get him quickly. Afternoon, Topham. Afternoon, Kyle. So, I heard you have a challenge for me. Don't know if challenge is the right word, but an undertaking I want you to be in charge of. Well, I'm all ears. So, to put it simply, I need some new coaches for the railway. And since it's currently very hard to acquire some from the mainland, I've decided that I want to continue the Sedgwick tradition of building coaching stock for the railways. As so, I want you to design some new coaches both for express and commuter operations. I must caution you, we're working on a slight budget at the moment, so I encourage that you keep it simple. Of course, sir. I can understand that. Are you up for it? Absolutely. I'll get to work right away. Excellent. Morning, Kyle. Ah, good morning, sir. Glad you could come today. I have something I want to show you. Would it be your design for the new coaches? That it would be, sir. Fantastic. So, like you said, simple and robust. I can understand that these are more to be a temporary solution until we can afford some more proper coaches, but I've made sure that the passenger accommodation is adequate, within the given budget. I see. What do you think? Well, I think that looks very promising. But what I'm really excited about is the express coaches you've designed. So this is the design for the express coaches. I'm sorry? This is my proposal for the new express coaches. Okay. Not what I was expecting. What were you expecting, sir? Well, something that didn't look so dated. Yeah, dated is the right word, sir. But I had to make compromises given the limited budget. Bogie coaches were too expensive to produce in the quantities that you wanted, and we'd be better off with 4-wheel coaches as opposed to 6-wheel coaches, since we'd get more coaches per axle. Are you sure this design is going to work? Well, you'll know who to blame if it doesn't. Very true. Well, I suppose you did deliver on what you promised, but please, don't make me regret this. We'll try our best, sir. Good. Well, I suppose I should also see the commuter coaches you've designed. Now that's more what I was expecting. Same principles as before, albeit more tailored for commuter operations. I should hope so. Well, with these, I'll give the green light to the construction of all the required commuter coaches. However, as a caution, for now, I'll authorize the construction of one set of express coaches. A prototype, to say. Understandable, sir. But please, Kyle, make it good. You have my word, sir. Well, Kyle, these are very impressive. And the test runs were satisfactory, so we've definitely cleared those from our concerns. Indeed, sir. They weren't our biggest concerns to begin with, but it's still nice to have them perform well. Indeed. Now, speaking about concerns, you said you were also done with our current biggest one. Yes, sir. The first set has been completed. In fact, it's about to be towed out right now. Well, they're definitely prettier to look at than I thought, so I guess that's a good start. But, I don't know, I guess I'm still not convinced. Well, hopefully the test runs will satisfy you. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Well, one would think that coaches like these, especially within the amount of the budget you've used, that they would be a catastrophe. Tell me something, Kyle. How many sets have you built? Just this one, sir. And how many do I need? I believe 5, sir? Make it 6, sir. If you can deliver something equal to what you've done here, I would be very happy to take more of these on for now. 6 sets, sir? Are you sure? Kyle, did I stutter? No? Well, get to work then. Yes, absolutely, sir. Good. I'll leave you to it. Did you get my message? Absolutely, sir, and I already have the sign to show you. Really? That was very quick. I've been tinkering with it for the past year or so. I actually wanted to present it to you beforehand, but it seems you beat me to it. How amusing. Anyway, let's see what you got. Now that is more like it. That is proper express coach. No offense towards your other coaches. None taken. I completely agree with you. I suspected that we would have a bigger budget for these new coaches, so I allowed myself to be a bit more sophisticated. If everything goes to plan, these coaches should be much more comfortable for the passengers, easier to operate, cheaper in the long run, and just more gratifying than your current ones. That's a lot you're promising there, Kyle. You sure you can deliver? Well, if the last design worked, I'm pretty sure I can make this one work too. That's wonderful to hear. I do suggest, however, that we still start with just one set as a prototype, just for good measure. Absolutely, sir. I was thinking we'd do the same as well. Excellent. Well, then you have the green light to initiate the project. And with that said, I suppose I'll leave you to it, Kyle. Don't let me down. That is my top priority not to, sir.